Hello YouTube and welcome to another review, and this time we have a very old set. This is the Airfix 172 World War II German Infantry, probably one of the first sets it probably ever brought out, well, that's not strictly true. They did bring out a similar set, a 1960s set, which this one replaced, and that replaced quite a number of their earlier sets, but certainly for the sort of more quality type, this was one of their first attempts. So, and it's not a bad set, to be honest. One of the best things of doing these videos is just to see how good these sets are, and they always look better in person than they do in any photographs and things. So it has been quite an experience just opening the boxes and having a look at these things. You know, don't take that as read though. I mean, obviously there are better sets out. There could only be. I mean, this set's now, what, gosh, 50 years old probably. But it still holds up. It's not a bad set. So this is what we're going to look at today. Like I said, this is World War II German infantry, and this sort of infantry set mainly deals with the early part of the war. So you're probably talking the Blitzkrieg, you know, the stuff like that. Very much so, just due to the equipment they are sort of carrying and wearing. As usual, the price of this is really very reasonable. It's about £5 or £6 for a box of soldiers. You can't argue with that. And quality, like I say, isn't so bad. Here we have a scene of sort of intense action, and it's not bad. I don't mind the artwork on that. They seem to always like painting the soldiers from the back on these sort of pictures that Airfix do, but no real problem there. And the equipment looks all in order, so no sort of problem there. What you sort of see on the front is pretty much what you're going to get, by the way. Actual size figure. Different colour to the ones I've got, but that is an actual size figure. Now let's have a look. So there's all the poses you're going to get, and reading the little piece of information there, this set of perfectly scaled figures and equipment includes an officer, grenade throwers and other key personnel from the Wehrmacht. Very nice. On the back we get a good sort of story of what you're going to get. Quite useful. You'll see some very sort of iconic poses in there if you're as old as me. Some very iconic poses. So let's just take a look at these. But all in all, so far so good. So let's bring our camera down. And let's zoom in. So we're starting off on a couple of sniping sort of guys. Obviously popping his head up, he's having a little look about. See if we can zoom in a bit more. It's a dark plastic, this one, so I'm not a big fan of the darker plastic because unfortunately it does obscure the detail. But you can see there is detail. We can see his strapping, he's got his bayonet, he's got his gas mask canister, all in order. Mauser rifle, flip him over, and we've got good detail underneath. Get a bit more light under there. That's not bad. Collar is very prominent. And he's having a good pop. He's popping his head up there. He's having a little look what's going on. So that isn't bad. He's got his German jackboots on. Yeah, don't see much wrong with that. Now here we have the set. These are the iconic ones. Now unfortunately, that's came a cropper there. The mold just hasn't worked. There's lots of obscure sort of bits of flash on this. I'm not saying every one will be like this, but it is there. That's our officer with the binoculars, and he's quite an infamous piece. You'll see him in 132. He's directly transcended into the 172. He's got his cap on. Sort of jodhpur style or riding pants style sort of officer pants. That's our grenade thrower, another iconic pose. Quite well detailed for the age. I'd just like to see these in a different colour plastic, I think, and if there was less flash these would be really quite decent. German stick grenade thrower. It's funny, put him any sort of angle and see how much it changes the way he looks. It's quite good. German water bottle, gas canister. Luger is just a shame. Nice detail on the back. That's quite good. That's quite good. You'll notice the base difference in the previous matchbox sets. Airfix always did have a nice sturdy base. Let's have a look at this chap. So this chap's carrying his MG. It's not a bad looking figure. Quite a lot of detail there. Quite impressed with that. Flashy as hell. But you could trim that up. It's a bit of a bugger. Yeah, that's really, there's a lot of nice detail there. Hope you're picking this up. I think this camera is a little bit better than the other one I had. Flamethrower, I don't know if this flamethrower is even an actual type of flamethrower. I don't think it would really matter so much. I don't know how much Germans actually used flamethrowers. That MG is actually quite good. Spent a bit of time on that. It's trenching tool. Yeah, and I mean, look at the bolt. You can see the bolt, and this is 172. It's quite good. Quite impressed with that. Just flashy as hell. Just going to go back to these guys just to see if I can get any extra detail out on this. See his hands pretty well. Nice. Coming in, hook focusing in, and obviously iconic. We all know this chap. Good pose. I mean, these figures kind of stand up to this day. Just look at all the flash. That's such a shame. Yeah. Yeah, it's flash. Yeah, and once again the flash sort of struck there. The helmet looks a bit strange, but it's more to do with the flash than anything else. Soldier just carrying his rifle. Could just be strolling alongside a vehicle. And that's your ammunition guy. He's for the other MG. There's another MG, which he's obviously the feeder. And there's a bit of detail in that box, if you can see that. Oh, it's not bad. Just flashy as hell. I can't state whether all of them would be like this, I don't know. Let's have a look at this chap here, because not him, but this guy. Let's have a look. Some sort of MP, some sort of machine pistol anyway. I wouldn't be able to say what exact type. He's got a little haversack. Yeah, for the age, these are actually fairly good. What we got here? Same guy, just the reverse. Nice bit of detail. Nice, just the flash spoiling these. Pouch looks a little bit strange, but you've no fault in the detail. It's got everything on that gun. That's our same chap. Another kind of iconic pose. I've never particularly liked this guy running. It just looked kind of machine-like. But there's a lot of those in this set. Haversack there, he's got his gas canister. So this kind of doesn't really come off. It's really soft plastic, and they just have difficulty straightening that up. I mean, not that it's totally convincing, it's just literally a stalk coming out of his head, which is a shame. It did the job, you know. You'd be mucking about with these in your room. I mean, they always did the job, but it wasn't fantastic, and this is what you get. And it's quite difficult to straighten these, to be honest. But that's the loader would go next to him. That's the idea. Detail underneath is quite basic, but I just think it was almost like they must have rushed this fella and didn't spend probably the time they wanted to on that. So that you'll have issues with that. And this is a, oh gosh. Here we go. Welcome, Mr. Flashmaster. And trust me, that's not you seeing double, it's Flash. He's got an extra pistol grip on his MP for whatever reason, I don't know. So, not exactly accurate, this chap, which is a shame, because he's necessary. They do need some guy firing an MP in the box. That's a nice pose again. Again, it's quite difficult to properly identify the machine pistol. Nice collar, you know, I mean, overall he's quite a good figure. Bit flashy again. This guy, I don't know. Something's happened with his eyes. He's just had enough, I think. He's probably thought I'm covered in flash. What do I do? Quite basic. Well, not a massive lot to say on that one. It's old and it shows. Is it still usable? Of course it is. It's very usable. There's certainly worse kits out there, believe it or not. Some of the figures are really good. Most notably these guys. Quite good. This guy who's on the front, quite good. And your standard fair grenade thrower, iconic as he is. But you know, there is a few misses in this set, and probably the misses make up about nearly half the set. Is it still worth the buy? I think for the price, if you put the price into the equation, it's a good set. You know, it is. I mean, you know, nowadays there is literally bundles and bundles of German infantry, mainly late war stuff, because it's more interesting, obviously. But there is some really good early war sets, and I think probably Plastic Soldier and things like that deal with those. But this set, it's shown its age. Whether or not they could do something about the flash, I think they could. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much you can do with the guy with the MG who's lying down. I remember as a kid he was always a bit sort of hit and miss. But yeah, it's feeling its age, this kit, which is a shame because the Africa Corps set is absolutely stupendous, that Airfix did. It really is, and even the 8th Army set, and they're got to be just about as old. I can't give this a thumbs up, obviously, but it's an adequate set, and for the price, I don't think it's to be argued. So, like I say, about £6 you pick this up. It's not bad. It's not bad. So that was my review of the World War II German infantry. It's early war, no doubt about that. You know, I'm glad I've looked at this set because it's quite an important set for Airfix, really. It was one of the first, so yeah, glad I've done that review. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.